So this story comes from Tennessee. It's about a police officer named Brian Murphy who has lost all of his law enforcement powers because he killed a man who was having a mental health crisis. And so there was a man named Landon Eastep who was having a mental health emergency, and he had a box cutter. 9 officers show up, and those officers just open fire. Don't try to de-escalate. Don't try anything. Just open fire. And they fired a grand total of 30 shots. Well, Brian Murphy fired 2 final shots that killed Landon Eastep. And that's why he's lost all of his powers as a law enforcement officer. And so you're going to have people out there saying, well, how come this man had a freaking box cutter? He was having a mental health crisis. And according to the attorney for the family, this man was sitting on the guardrail, not bothering anybody. And that's a common story when it comes to people of color when they encounter police. They'll be sitting by doing nothing, and maybe they will have a mental health emergency. That does not mean you pull guns and start shooting, because as soon as this man pulled a simple box cutter from his freaking pocket and pointed at cops like a freaking gun, right? They just open fire. A box cutter does not look like a gun. Unless you're gonna throw the box cutter like a freaking ninja. And believe it or not, throwing box cutters and throwing knives and actually causing damage or actually killing someone is a lot harder than what some of these bootlickers and some of these Blue Lives Matter bootlickers want to make you think. So that was not necessary. We're not talking about what's legal. We're talking about what is necessary. Was that necessary? No, it wasn't. And so the police chief, who is John Drake, has ordered the department to decommission Officer Brian Murphy while the shooting is reviewed by the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation, or TBI. And I'm wondering the exact same thing as the attorney here. How does a welfare check turn into a scenario where a man is shot 30 times? If that's the kind of quality we can expect from police officers, then there is zero reason why you or anyone else should trust pigs. And so we find out that Murphy is a 25-year veteran of that department, and that he used a rifle to execute Landon Eastep. You know, this story just shows you why you should never trust police officers, and also it shows you that they're veterans, the people who have been on the force for a while, are all trash. And those are the people who new officers are taking their guidance from, or taking their pointers from. So not only do you not trust those cops, but also the new cops too.